Okay, so we have the third installment of what I don't really know what to call this exactly, but it's the series of Tom Hanks trying to figure out clues to stopping certain bad things from happening. Normally any installment past the second movie, or even the second movie itself, is never usually a good thing. So with that being said, let's see. Is this movie complete crap? Let's go ahead and let's find out.
Hi, I'm Albert.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Jazz.
Hi, I'm Toby.
Welcome to Gamer State.
Inferno. Alright guys, so in all honesty, I do love these movies. I do love, I loved freaking, what is it? I love the Da Vinci Code. That was an amazing movie. It's one of my favorite, you know, I guess, treasure hunting adventure movies or whatever. Angels and Demons, I was kind of a little bit iffy on Angels and Demons because it was slightly different from what the first movie was. How the first movie was very subtle. It was like an adventure. It was a little bit of mystery, trying to figure out, you know, little things here and there. The second movie was a little bit more action-oriented based, and it was definitely a little more of a thrill ride than the first movie was. This movie is kind of trying to be both of those things, and I'm going to try to explain to you why it doesn't really work out a whole lot. So starting off with the plot of this movie, obviously Tom Hanks is put into a very weird situation trying to stop this so-called Inferno virus that is making reference to Dante's Inferno. Now, the only thing is that Tom Hanks has a little bit of amnesia, you know, he kind of doesn't remember a whole lot of things, he hasn't remembered anything past the 48 hours, and so he's trying to figure out all these things. He's confused, completely confused. He's trying to confuse the audience as well, just a little bit, but obviously, but he does have somebody to help him out, and it's obviously this lovely woman right here, and pretty much they have to go on an adventure trying to stop, first of all, this virus, trying to figure out the clues that can get them there. So with that being said, now that I touched on the plot, and that's as far as I'm going to go because I don't want to ruin this movie for you guys, if you guys do want to go ahead and see it. This is where this movie fails, and that is that the story of Dante's Inferno is just so interesting in itself that it doesn't make a huge part of this movie. It really doesn't. I know the story of Dante, and I know the tale of Dante's Inferno. I literally watched the animated film of Dante's Inferno, like I think a couple days ago, just trying to really refresh my memory about the story. And it is such a great and interesting story that it's barely scratched at the surface of this movie. There is a couple things that they do touch on. They do touch on Beatrice. They do touch on the 9 circles or levels of hell. But they don't go any further than that, and there isn't. And one of my main things is that I do want to become a filmmaker at some point, but this is where I think the story would have been far more interesting, where there's obviously the 9 circles of hell. You could have made in some sort of reference like 9 clues that can get you to where that virus is or something like that. Obviously that did not happen, which is kind of disappointing. Yeah, I thought that's literally what this movie would have been more like. It would have been a little bit more better. So now that I touched on what kind of disappointed me about this movie, the characters in this movie, Tom Hanks obviously made a very, very great performance, obviously playing the same character he's been playing since the past 2 movies. Some new characters, like I just said, this woman right here has a really good performance in the movie, really contrasting very well with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is very intellectual, and so is she, but like she's very youthful, and he's more like old, obviously. But you know, I found that tandem, that relationship was actually very good, as well as there's other characters, but mostly you're looking at these 2 characters for the majority of the movie, and I gotta say their performance was really good. But in saying that, everybody's performance in this movie was pretty darn good. The cinematography and certain scenes in this movie was actually very, very well shot. There was some very interesting shots, as well as very, very beautiful shots of the landscapes and the certain areas that they were in. And I'm going to talk about a specific scene that you saw even in the trailers. So it's technically not a spoiler, where Tom Hanks is looking at this painting, and the painting kind of comes alive in his mind. the way that was shot was absolutely perfect. Like, if they would have shot it any other way, I don't believe it would have worked, let alone would have been as impactful. As well as the certain scary, creepy type images that Tom Hanks is seeing in his mind, as well as you saw it in the trailers as well. It works so very well. The only thing is that is kind of limited to the beginning of the movie, and it doesn't really happen anywhere else. I thought maybe it could have been a little bit more stretched out, and then maybe would have, I don't know, made it a little bit more interesting, I guess. I don't know. The special effects, like I kind of did touch on it already, was also very good. Kind of giving my my final thoughts on this movie. It is a good movie, but it isn't as good as it could have been. It's not all that very interesting, because I think what they try to do is that in the second movie there was a lot of action, and they did try to put a little bit of action into this movie. It's kind of like the same thing like the first movie was. It does harpen back to that a little bit more slow, methodical pace, so even though the first movie had a very good antagonist, and so did the second movie. This movie, the antagonist, it's not there. It's not there. There is no battling, you know, going on between Tom Hanks and somebody else. It's people just kind of going after them, but it's really nothing. They're just trying to catch them, not trying to do anything else. It's just But anyways, everything else of this movie just seems to be really, like, everything seems to be really good. The characters are good, the acting is very good, the cinematography, the special effects. The plot itself is a little bit which I think brings the whole movie down in everything. Like I said, I think if they would have involved a little bit more of the story of Dante's Inferno and more things that were more oriented towards that story, I think it would have been far, far, far more better than it actually was. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna have to rate this movie a 7 out of 10. It's definitely not a slightly above average. It is above average. It's still kind of to me, but it was still a pretty interesting movie to watch if you're somebody like me who loves the adventure. But obviously, if you don't like that, then this movie's totally not for you, and I don't recommend you guys go ahead and you guys don't watch it. But it is a okay movie in its own right. That's the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, by all means hit that like button, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel. We make more videos just like this, as well as follow us on our social media links down below. And we'll be sure to keep you updated on what's going on with the channel, as well as future videos that we'll be doing. And if you thought this video completely sucked, there's a dislike button right down there for you to press, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.